Good morning. We are on our lesson 2 in Unit 3, Research on Contemporary Arts in the Philippines, where in this lesson, we will once again focus on connecting and situating an art form within the social, historical, and cultural milieu. So, diri ang lesson, topic na to is about the difference between subject matters and themes. We will elevate the process of meaning making by turning away from the literal and surface appearance and to a deeper and more complicated thematic plane. So, diri makita nato ang mga artwork nga kanang naay mga babaw na mga meaning, but naapod siya mga meaning kanang mag deep ta mag search the deeper meaning ato nga mga artwork. So, learn about it. What is the difference between subject matter and theme? So, subject in the arts refers to what they are all about. So, ang subject kay if you have an artwork, then kung unsay murag focus ana imong artwork, kay mao na siya ang subject. Then, if there is an image, we identify that image and recognize how it is presented. So, sa imong artwork, kung naay image, ma-identify dayon nimo nga mao na siya ang subject niya. Kung giunsa na siya pag-present. Then, naay mga image nga representational or figurative, which means kanang the image is drawn from the world around us. Naapoy mga images ay naapoy mga artwork nga vague, na ay mga abstract, non-representational or non-figurative nga wala siya kanang murag ma-recognize gay nimo nga proper subject jud, but such as kanang trees, objects, kanang ingana kay mag-form na siya elements sa iyahang texture, color, composition, shape, or movement among others. While ang theme naman mao na siya ang ga-connect sa subject ug sa kanang social milieu or its context, kanang kung unsa iyang meaning ana, kung unsa na siya ma-connect sa ato ang how people live ingana. And there are many ways to determine the theme of an artwork. At the most obvious and surface level, we note its initial data. So, ang title, ang artist, medium, dimensions, and the year it was made. Tapos, beyond this initial data, naa ang mga text, images, allusions, and symbols. So, diri mo mga data makuha ang mga clue nga kung unsa na siya sa social and historical context referred to. So, naa diri nga level, makuhaan mo ang symbolism and allegory nga makuhaan mo ang thematic plane nga nag-operates. So, naa diri makakita ta og kanang image ni Rizal, the Rizal Monument. But before that, diri ata sa subject matter. Ang subject matter ga-answer sa question nga unsa atong nakita, unsa atong nasimhot or na taste or touch. Using our senses is the initial step. This requires keen and intelligent observation, not just of the image, but how it is presented, and if there is no image, how the formal elements are deployed. So, di ba sa subject matter, di mo makuha kung unsa imo nakita ana nga artwork, kung unsa imo nabantayan. But if ever, kung wala siya image, giunsa paggamit ang formal elements such as katong mga texture, katong colors, katong composition, katong shape. So, makita na to diri ang the Rizal Monument, diba, kaniyahang artwork. So, basically, ang iyahang subject is about ka Jose Rizal and nga ato ang national hero. But then, naa siya yung mga klase-klaseng mga themes. First is ang heroism and identity. So, makita na to diri ang kanang ang iyahang iyahang identity as a person and as a national hero. So first, nakuha daw ning Rizal National Monument in Luneta. Result ni siya sa national competition launched in 1905. The first prize was awarded to Italian Carlos Nicolai, but wala niya na comply ang mga certain requirements. So ang prize nahatag sa second place winner nga si Richard Kisling. Numerous cities and municipalities in the Philippines and abroad have since replicated this design. Unveiled in 1913, the Rizal National Monument is a landmark monument mausoleum housing the remains of the hero. This monument depicts its subject as a standing figure, clutching a book, perhaps symbolizing the importance that Rizal placed on national education. So, makita na to diri nga nagtindog si Rizal nagunit og libro. It's murag ma-define to na siya nga kung unsa daw ka importante ka Rizal ang education. Tapos, di ba makita na to nga naka-European overcoat siya, wala siya naka-native clothing. Daghan daw ways para ma-portray si Rizal, depending on the condition of specific places and the preferences of the authorities who have the power to decide on details of the commission, which may or may not capture or reflect those of the community in that locality. So, makita na to, makakuha nimo ang interpreting heroism and national identity, and it's difficult to multiply the various cultures reside. Instead of looking for one definition as description of identity, let us do our research and get to know our own communities. So, bago daw ka magkuan sa kana isa ka artwork para sa ani, instead nga magtan-aw ka sa isa ra ka definition, murag mag-focus ka sa isa ka definition, mangita ka og kanang laing way para mag-get to know nimo ang kana nga artwork. So kanang nakakuan diri nga ang identity ni Rizal kay daghan pud siya nakuan sa life no, nahimo pud siyang sportsman, a doctor, a writer, a devoted son, and a lover. Tapos diri perhaps we wish to review our heroes on a more human rather than a lofty plane, even if it the nature of monuments to make them larger than life. So diri ang theme kan heroism and identity, makita nimo kung sakat kani nga artwork, makita nimo ang importance sa iyang identity, nganong naana siya, nganong kana ang subject, nganong naay unsay nabuhat di Rizal, then kanang unsa kung asa siya gikan, unsa iyang mga kuan, makita nimo yang identity as a national hero and as his self. So next is ang heroism and ecology. So aside of being a national hero kang Rizal, naapod siya yung mga side sa iyang self nga wala na ilhan sa tanan, as a natural scientist, a farmer, teacher, poet, sculptor, merchant, engineer, loving son, and patriot. Also, Rizal was an environmentalist long before it became very urgent to become one amidst the cultural, moral, spiritual, and environmental degradations of these troubled times. Tapos, during his exile in Dapitan, si Rizal daw nagpalit og yuta nga nadaugan niya sa iyang pagkapanalo sa lottery. Nagplant siya trees, nag-raise siya livestock and pets, tapos gipang share dia ang produce iyang mga nakita sa iyang community. Tapos human by by art, anecdotes, poetry, and statues, mao na iyang ginahatagan og lesson, ay mao na iyang gina-share nga lesson sa iyahang mga children nga naa sa ilahang community. Tapos naapod siya yung mga species nga siya ang naka-discover. Unya ginapang sent na niya sa scientific communities, and as a result katong mga species nga iyang na-discovered is na name after sa iyaha, as katong Draco rizali, a flying lizard, Rhacophorus rizali, a frog, and Apogonio rizali, a beetle. So kanang tulo iyaha nang na-discover nga mga species, then na-name na siya after sa iyaha. Tapos naapoy laing hero nga environmentalist and a botanist di ay siya. Si Leonard Coe. Naka-discover po siya mga endemic plant species. Ang isa sa pinaka-famous nga species nga iyahang na discover is ang Rafflesia leonardi, a parasitic plant named after him, which bears flowers and is among the largest species in the world. So, mao na siya nga species sa endemic plants nga pinaka-largest species in the world. Si Rizal was shot dead in Luneta when he was 35. Tapos, si Leonard Coe naman, 56 years old siya na namatay siya sa Alleged Crossfire amidst the forest of Canagalete, where he and his team were doing research for a project aimed to propagating endangered and indigenous trees in the area. So, like Rizal, Coe was a polymath, a man of many talents and intelligence. Tapos, he is a botanist, a musician, a photographer, and a poet. Tapos, si Leonard Coe pod, gaspoke siya Mandarin, Filipino, and Latin. Tapos, he was a comic whose performances suited his team's weary minds whenever they were out of the field. The many people he touched testify to his passion, humility, simplicity, and unbelievable breadth of knowledge in Philippine botany. So as tribute, Kang Rizal and Co. by honoring 8 male environmentalists whose contributions were interpreted through paintings and installations done by 8 women artists as part of an annual series of exhibition. It's entitled Filipina. So, spiritually, ecology, and everyday life. Rizal's monument, with its many variations, are placed at the center town of the plaza, which the center are the church, the municipal building, and the houses of elites. The church usually has convento or convent, generally housing a school, the parish priest quarters, and the office. In the sleepy town of Mahataw in Batan Island, mao ni siya ang municipality that has 99% Roman Catholic. The 19th century built San Carlos Church, a heritage site, a multi-purpose place, and a physical hub that has played a key role in protecting the various historic structures and objects of the place. So, in 19th century daw, ang mga kuan dito kay nag-built og San Carlos Church, which is mao ni siya ang murag ga-protect sa katong mga historical structures and objects, kanang mga importante nga mga structures about kuan dito nakatago. Then naa sila'y kumbento, which is an office and a quarters of the parish priest. Pwede po siya sa mga ilaha kay mga meeting place for local organizations, Kay naa siya and because it has doorways that cut across the church, it is also a corridor or passageway to a shortcut. It is dark, barren, and empty at times, filled with people on the way to somewhere else at other times. And sa kumbento pod, pwede po siya a transit point, serve as a transit point where tired minds and hearts can rest. Drawing on and inspired by this character of the heritage site, si J.T. Carr nag-construct siya nagcompose siya og mga blank books arrayed on the shelf that mimics the waves of the sea. Nagbukuan siya og kanang shelf full of blank books where passers-by and users of the convento turned library can pick one book. Pwede sila mamili isa ka book. Then pwede nila dito isulat kung unsa ang ilahang thoughts, isulat through kung pwede sila magsulat, mag-drawing, and pwede sila magbuhat ng mga objects or magkuan kung unsa ilahang naa silang utok, kung unsa naa silang mind, kung unsa na silang feeling, pwede nila i-record dito, isulat through drawing, through kanang actual objects. The simple gestures or mark in the pages of the book gather like dust on furniture left passive and unused for a long time. So kato siya nga at convento turned library kay wala na siya na unused na siya for a long time. So para si J.T. Carr hopes that the library gathers as much as dust as possible and becomes in a long term a meaningful collection of dust. As he puts it is in his concept paper for a collaborative project of Asian public intellectuals in 2009-2010. As part of the group who went to Batanes, one of the sites of the Asia-wide research involving the Philippines, Japan, Indonesia, Malaysia, and Thailand. Murag, si Tikar nag-propose siya nga katunga installation in response to the theme of community-based initiatives towards ecological balance. Aside ato nga mga blank books, si Tikar nagpalit siya og 2 boats. Ang isa nga boat is kanang karaan jud siya abandoned tataya. The traditional wind powered owned by a fishers association. What was once essential livelihood object and still figures the traditional rituals and fishing practices became a nest for poultry and object of curiosity when it was abandoned. So katong first boat is katong kuan kanang dili kanang murag magsagwan lang ka nga boat, kanang normal boat lang jud siya. Then mao to ga kuan siya ga symbolize siya about kana how traditional ang mga fishermen sa una. Then a second, a larger one kanang kuan murag modernized gani nga boat with kanang motorized siya nga boat. Tapos before a found object in the car's installation, it once belonged to a farmer, butcher, policeman, and jail warden who has under his custody fishermen, poachers from Taiwan and Vietnam. So katong nga mga boats, as the artist described in his project, turned into the tables and chairs of the library. Bamboo poles articulated like a fishing rod, carrying recycled floaters and light bulb housing illuminate the boat. Still on the floor area, stones from a balugan or a playa as we term it in Tagalog, or simply beach in English. Boulders are used as tools. Hidden planks with wheels are installed under these stones in an attempt to have a floating feel, particularly if they are being moved. These stones are and boats are welcome by rearrange and play with. So, dito nakabutang ang mga both sa kilid. Murag himo lang niya nga kanang